Welcome back to Art Cafe. This is episode 127. I'm your host, Maciej Kuciara. Today's guest is an Art Cafe alumni, a fellow artist I had a chance to host at the very beginning of his YouTube career. Please welcome Ross Tran. Today, his channel rocks over 1.2 million subscribers and has absolutely die-hard fan base. It was a great catch-up episode. Hope you'll enjoy this one. Let's go.
Wow. Yeah, that was four to 5 years ago. That's insane.
Yeah. 4 years ago. I think that's when you started, right? Was right after you started.
Yeah, that was about the time I posted my first 2 videos. And then you had me on your podcast and it was crazy.
Yeah.
That's
when it's crazy because that's pretty much when I started a podcast too, more or less. 12 episodes. Mm-hmm. I was kind of streaming every week, or I think back then, or maybe twice a week. I can't even remember anymore. Time is flying, dude. Time is flying.
Right.
Dude, it's been it's been 4 years and it feels like it was yesterday. How crazy is that?
I don't even know what to... Yeah, no, it was crazy because I know that we're both part of that concept art upbringing. There's a niche kind of family before everything exploded. Now digital art is a lot more mainstream, but there's this kind of core group of concept art kind of people. And it was very intimate back then. I remember being on your show and I know that I felt like I'm just podcasting to the family. And right. Yeah.
And then you went and destroyed the internet.
No, I did not.
In the positive way. In a positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look back at your 4 years of you YouTubing. I want to actually talk about this because how much what was the reason for you to start doing your channel?
I was mainly just lost at the time. I think we sometimes try to find endeavors and hobbies that we enjoy. And at that time, I didn't make any money. I was kind of lost and didn't really know what to do with my life. And that was part of the low point because I think a year and a half before that, I dropped out of art school to pursue acting because I had 1 semester left and I knew that if I were to go down this path, it felt so linear for me and I felt I was kind of destined for bigger things. And so 1 semester left, my mom hated it, but I left and just moved to Hollywood. I was like, I don't know how to fuck become an actor, but I'm just gonna try. I felt like I would be really good at it. I love expressing, I love seeing it, and it was more about the craft for me. And Asian Americans were kind of thriving up at that time, because there's not many Asian Americans inside Hollywood.
Not at all.
I felt I could be a good example of hey, I can do it, and hopefully inspire other Asian American actors to pursue that craft as well. And so I felt like I had a big kind of mission to kind of push forward. And then so I moved to a studio apartment. My mom helped me pay for it, and she's like, all right, Ross, you have a year and a half to figure this shit out because I'm not paying for this apartment. You have to make your own money. I was like, all right. That's so I was on a ticking time bomb, and I just literally went on Google and was best acting schools in LA, George Clooney acting schools, Brad. I have no idea what to do. Right.
Right.
There's no manual. And so I found some schools. I went and did improv classes, cold reading classes, and just like try to become an actor in this industry. And I went on audition. It was like super fun, and I went on like a pilot audition and stuff like that. And I never used my art at the time because I was kind of popularish in the concept art community, and
Right.
I know that had some like lift to my name, but I never wanted to use it. I was like, you know what? I want to start from literally ground zero and try to make a name for myself. And so I was just like, hey, I'm here to kind of like help you with your project. And I got casted in something that was fun. And I think the biggest thing that I learned is to always kind of follow your gut and to follow through. And if tell someone something like, hey, I'm going to be there at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be there by 7 o'clock. Like I learned
Right.
a lot about being professional and following your gut and following through. And that has really helped me create my channel. And so after like a year and a half of like pursuing acting, I missed art again. Like that's kind of what I studied and that's what my original hobby was. And so at this point, I was severely lost in my career and my life because I'm sitting in this room kind of alone, no direction, because I love art. I love performing and entertaining people, and there's no direction.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just start a YouTube channel. Maybe that would
Just like randomly. Like,
randomly.
why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
Like, why not? Because I have nothing to lose at this point.
Right.
So I was like, I have no idea how to do this because I didn't have like a role model to look up to, and like who is in kind of a entertaining artist that I could look up to, and there wasn't one. And so
Right.
I just like, you know what, maybe I can just try something different. And so I spent a week in my room playing with different video ideas, lighting ideas, and just like trying to figure it out. And then I shot my first video. I looked like a freaking weirdo. My hair was up everywhere, and I think you guys saw it. I was like, "Hey guys, welcome to an episode of Rock Draw. Today we're gonna draw Daenerys Targaryen." There was effects, and there was like just explosions and madness, and apparently people really loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think color dodge would be a thing, but it's just something I really love, and just put it in video, and people seem to really enjoy my excitement for it. And so after that first video, it like made some waves in the concept art family. I'm not sure it's good and bad, but I think any press is good press. I'm trying something new, and looking back at it now, I look like such a baby, but I'm glad I took the step to like really try to make something that's mine. So yeah, and
You
the rest is
definitely
history.
did, man. Yeah, the rest is history. How was it like? Okay, so what was the reason you wanted to act? Like, was there any like a particular, oh my god, I want to be an actor, or it's like, oh, it sounds like an interesting thing to try. Like, what was it? Because that's just so different than art.
Right. I think I just like entertaining people and making people happy, and maybe like making
Right.
people laugh. And so if I could brighten someone's day and make them laugh like for a split second, I feel like maybe I'm doing something good in the world. And so
Right.
I think it's like also pushing the Asian American culture inside Hollywood as well. Like we don't
Right.
have that much representation back then. It's getting a lot better now, but if I could be,
Yeah.
if I could help the world, then I feel like I'm doing a good thing.
Yeah, that's a noble thing, noble approach for sure. Haven't you thought about like, hey, what about like maybe doing stand-up comedy? Because like if you want to make people laugh,
Dude, stand-up is hard. I don't know. I feel like it takes the timing, the writing, the delivery.
It's horrible. Yeah,
I think it's a lot harder, and I work best off of like kind of improv, on the cuff, kind of like.
Right. Not scripting anything. I mean, technically, like quote unquote, you don't script in stand up. From what I hear, it's like, but then like you do write your jokes. You do like try them in different light and different,
Yeah.
different approaches and a lot of like a lot of failure.
Yeah, for sure.
How was your like it's so, I'm so curious because it's such a LA thing to do. Like
Mhm.
I'm going to become an actor.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, dude, when I did that, I was frowned upon, obviously. Like, whenever your friend or anyone goes, yeah, like, I want to be an actor one day,
Right.
automatically everyone's like, really? Ugh. And so, obviously, I had that, like, everyone telling me things, right? But at the same time, it's important for me at that time to realize it's my life, and
Yeah.
people's opinions is not my
Exactly.
business. It shouldn't matter what they're thinking about my stuff. It only matters if I'm kind of following what I want to do, because ultimately I have to be in charge of my own happiness. So
Yeah. And I mean, look, you went through auditions and you've done acting classes. You've
yeah.
done like, I guess I don't know, like I have zero idea how all of that works, right? I'm just sort of like here there basically.
Right.
But, there are definite lessons you've learned from that because like so I'm let me ask you this. How much of that endeavor you had for like the year and a half, apart from what you said, like being more professional,
Mhm.
being on time,
Mhm.
having a schedule, like all of those things matter for making something successful, whether it's your YouTube channel, whether
Mhm.
it's your personal professional work. Like you have to have those traits, right?
Mhm.
But like what strikes me, and I think what struck a lot of people when they started watching your YouTube and started subscribing, and I mean looking at numbers and looking where are you right now with it,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
like I mean it's definitely a successful formula, right?
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
So but like how much of that acting pursue
Mhm.
um like influence from like speaker point of view, or like the way you talk, did it change the way you approached talking to camera at all, or was it you just like rolled with the punches?
I think it helped a lot in confidence, because
Okay.
like it really boosted my confidence to be like, hey, if I'm going to talk about something, make sure I'm like, you project the energy. And
Right.
acting is all about energy. Like, the words almost don't mean that much. It's about how you're portraying it to like what you're feeling. And so it taught me a lot about just like going down a path and committing to it. It taught me a lot about commitment, and that really helped me with my own art, because sometimes we make a like we draw and we're not confident about it, but
Yeah.
if we trust that, if we follow through and commit to that decision, we'll figure it out. And that's like the biggest takeaway I got from like studying acting. It's like just really committing to the moment and making a decision and being confident with it.
Yeah, it's super important. Like if you cannot commit, like nothing's gonna ever work out. Like how many
Right.
channels you've seen already that like these people start having like those grand ideas of like
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a video every week, and then
Mhm.
they realize I'm not getting paid for it and it's a lot of work.
Right. Yeah, no, I feel like the people, like, I know so many people who just try to do it for the followers, the numbers, and try to like, oh, I want to be known for this, and
Yeah.
like, but it's an empty path to follow something based on like performance and likes, but it's very I would say common, but it's not until you really pursue it and then you realize it's really not about that. It's about just really kind of doing what you love and pursuing your passions.
Yeah, the money doesn't come in if you don't have passion to it. That's yeah. That's
Mhm.
pretty much where it's always at. Like
Right.
and I agree. I mean, I'm saying this because there is always a business aspect of everything you do. Like
Mhm.
whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to face, unless you're like completely obsessed about something, right? Then
Mhm.
business part doesn't matter. Like we know artists, entrepreneur, like not entrepreneurs, like artists and musicians,
Mhm.
people who are athletes, and people who are obsessed about craft,
Mhm.
that they don't care if they're gonna make money. They just want to make something that no one has ever done,
Mhm.
and like keep going with it because that's just passion, like
Mhm.
like the obsession itself. So that's always there. Like but sometimes, like especially with an endeavor like yours,
Mhm.
where like because you said you were lost, right? I can
Yeah.
completely relate to a situation like that because
Yeah.
like you were just at the end of your art school, and you look at the landscape, you realize, okay, there's only those avenues that I can choose from. And some of them are so difficult to get into, and there's always a doubt, like on the students, and I like it's for professional artists, it's easy to say like just work hard and do many hours and be professional and you're gonna make it. Like that's not true, you know. Like there's a little bit of luck in it, the kind of work you do, the kind of landscape you land into. Like there's just so many different things, and it's very easy to get lost. So I don't I can completely understand, like, oh, I want to try something completely new, and being frowned upon as well, like going back to that. You know, how long you've been doing art? Like when was like the first time you thought about doing art professionally?
I think I was like 15 or 16 was the first time I was like,
what year was that?
I think sophomore or junior. In high school. It was like I didn't even know that you could do it for a living. And then I found out you could, and then I was like, I want to be an artist.
So like mid and 2000s, right? Somewhere around that, or earlier than that.
2006 ish.
Okay, yeah. So you remember those times where if someone was using photos, they're like, you are the worst person in existence.
Exactly. Yep.
You remember that? So that was frowned upon, and then like there's always some issue. Like there's always like a one thing that everyone has an issue with, and then they realize that everyone does it, and then no one cares anymore, and then they find something new, you know. So it's like I think now, like we're getting closer to sort of like times where there's so many options, because like as you said, it's becoming more mainstream. We start to see so many options available that if someone says like, hey, I just want to go and try this, I think it's less frowned upon, because the people are focusing on something else.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I can imagine that being difficult. How was the like, okay, because like I when we spoke first time, it was episode 12.
Wow.
That was when you just started, had 2 episodes in the bag, I think, or 3 or something like that.
What episode is it now?
120 something.
What? 120 something? And I was number 12? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, we spoke every now and then, but like actually getting a podcast again, it's been a while. But yeah, you were just starting. I think that at the time we spoke, we're talking about you getting into this, like getting into YouTube. Yeah, I think you were like 2 or 3 episodes in. Yeah, but you already got traction, like 10, 20, somewhere around 10,000 followers back then. And I know we're not looking at followers, but that's a metric of success. Like we have to look at it from that point of view. Like the bigger the channel, that obviously tells you something about how successful the channel is, And everyone will argue, okay, followers don't matter, and I agree. Watch time matters more. Like how many people are actually watching this? Sure, yeah. Because like you can have 1 million people watching you and only 1% care. That's then a percentage of that million. What is it, like 1,000 people? That's your actual follower number, Yeah. Versus if you have 1 million views and 5,000 followers, that tells you like maybe you're not translating your views into people are actually following you. Right. Agreed. But they watch you for a reason, Yeah. And usually the best balance is like when people watch you and engage with you, and no matter what the numbers are, right, like there's always a core group of people coming back, and agreed. That's what matters the most. Like I think people, as you said, get obsessed about numbers. But I remember you were just starting. I was always curious, like how much work was that for you, in terms of, because that's always the biggest obstacle that people face, and that's always the thing with when you want to get into something that is difficult, you have to push a lot of time and see no reward for a long time until you get like really good at it, and people recognize that. Especially now with the saturation we have with everything, it's like even more difficult because the bar is so high already. Like how much work was that for you? Because you had to do like freelance work too back then, right?
Oh my gosh. Like insane the amount of work I had to do because like the content of the videos, I had to kind of like figure it out. I write it, I had to shoot it, I had to edit it, I had to finish the piece, and then I had to like, make it like a Patreon thing to help support me. And so this was my full-time job, and I didn't really get paid for it. So I knew that like I did it for a long time before it started looking decent. Like a lot of the beginning was just like, you know what, I'm gonna trust the process and remember like this is what I want to do and trust that I'll get there. But like the first 6 months to a year, it didn't pay anything.
Yeah.
I
can imagine. Yeah, it's anyone who tries to record, like anyone who would try to record even a short video just talking to camera, and then you realize you stutter a lot, and then like you have to take another few takes, and you forgot what you were talking about, and you realize, oh, it's all shit, like let's start over. Just recording that, and then you have it all done, and then you listen to it like, oh fuck, the mic was too quiet, now I have to edit it, maybe the lighting wasn't too good. But then like when you throw in painting, like you have to do the actual painting and then cut it and then record the pieces, and just like getting the data from the camera and putting it on disc, and like all those like micro steps that are just so fucking annoying.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Yep.
It's like when you just think about like, oh, I just gonna record it and it's done. Like, no, man, like you have to get that on your hard drive, and you have to put it in the folder, and then like put it in your editing software, and then make sure like you know enough about editing, and then you have to post about it. Yeah, and then you have to post about it, and then you have to remember to post about it.
Right. And then you have to make a cover for your video, and then reply to the comments, and then, oh my God, dude, being an independent creator in today's world is a lot more work than I think people think. It's like, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and I think people kind of forget that, and they like see the glamour of like, oh, look at this popular creator or digital influencer. It's like, no, they spent probably years doing it all themselves, every single thing in their business or in their life themselves before having any help. And I think,
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know who Marquez Brownlee is?
Yes.
I think it's MKHB. MKHB, am I saying it right?
Yeah, I think so.
MKBHD.
I
remember like
the tech guy, right?
Yeah, tech guy.
Yeah.
Completely randomly,
yeah,
I got like on YouTube a video suggestion.
Yeah.
And it was his first video.
Oh, no way. Shut up.
Yeah, hers video, like just Google, like, just look it up. It's crazy. I think he spent 6 or 7 years, like, because he started like right when YouTube started.
Wow.
And I think he spent like 6 years, maybe 7 years until it actually started to be popular.
Yeah.
And he actually started getting traction where like, oh, I can actually make something out of this,
Yeah.
He talked about it in his in one of his episodes. It was kind of crazy, and it gives you a perspective like, like all of those things take a lot of work,
100%,
a lot of commitment. I had the same epiphany because like first time we spoke, I haven't had Learn Squared yet. We haven't started that endeavor. So that was I think just about starting back then. And yeah, man, it's the same thing, like learning business and realizing how much, how many mistakes you're going to make along the way. And then you have to like course correct and like redo over, and like just like pulling your hair out. It's like, oh my God, nothing is working as intended. It takes years until you like figure out formula. Okay, like now at least it's like sustainable, and I can work with this. I have something I can work with. So it took a year, right? Like about a year where you started to see like a light in the tunnel?
A tiny bit, like almost very tiny. It's like I did
just like a bing.
Like, a super tiny bit. It wasn't much, but it was like, hey, you know what? I could probably support myself with Patreon.
Right.
And I yeah, and it was enough for me to kind of like get by and still do what I love. Like I can do YouTube, and then I could repackage my YouTube videos and teach people through Patreon, and that was enough for me. And then I realized after doing that for like a few months, a year, I realized I didn't really have anything that was truly mine. I was doing a lot of fan art.
Right.
I was making like, Ross draws Elsa and stuff like that. And I realized in that moment I really wanted to tell my own stories and create my own world. And that's when everything like started shifting again. I was a little like depressed at the time, like after some time it started to become kind of like a job, and I wanted to, like, if I'm gonna work on something for like years, I want to really love it and be excited about it all the time.
Right.
And that's when I made Nima, my Kickstarter. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You reached that point where, is that it? Am I gonna do this like rinse and repeat from now on?
Right.
I think you get that in art too. I mean, I know some artists that do like working that way. They enjoy having a very structured environment and knowing exactly what they're gonna do for years on end, and they don't care. Like, I don't have to like design a new character. Like, I could gladly work on this one property forever and just like detail it and change angles. But yeah, there are people like that. But I think for the majority of us artists are always like pursuing something new.
Agreed.
Yeah. So you realize like that was so. How much did it change anything for you in terms of like how you run the channel, like, or did it just like reinvigorate you to just like, okay, I'm just gonna double down now because this is fun?
I feel like it made me more confused because it was like, here is my newfound kind of like, oh, you know what? I actually want to create my own world. But I've built this channel for like a year already. I have loyal fans. People really love what I do, and I bring them happiness. It's like, how to choose between the two is really hard.
Right.
And so I feel like after the Kickstarter, I had 2 full-time jobs. And then I had no time for myself. It was like I had to work my book, and then I had to make my channel, and I don't want my channel fail while I make my book. And so I had to like really juggle, and so I didn't really have any time for myself. But I just try to trust the process, and the Kickstarter actually gave me so much pressure, because after you do your Kickstarter, it's like, now you have to come out with your book. Now you have to make sure it's good. And I think that was maybe, I think everything's a learning experience, right? But if I were to do it again, I would have maybe had 80 to 85% of the book done already. But
I was about to ask you about that.
I probably had 5%.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm like, but I was just hoping, it was such a passion of mine that I was like, I hope you guys see what I want to do and support me through that. And so it was more of an idea. It was more of like, and that was something, if I were to go back, or if I ever do another Kickstarter, I would make sure that it's done to like 85% before asking for anything, because that was like a big learning experience for me.
Yeah, we've seen failed Kickstarters a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, isn't it like half of them, or like 75% just never get made?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's usually because like, here's what happens. Like, people have ambitions, right? Like, you have an ambition to do something, you get really excited. But what happens a lot is, that's just the nature of humans, is that you realize along the way it's like far more work that you have expected. And then you lose interest. And then the moment you lose interest, like the moment you're like, getting discouraged, like all those creepy thoughts are coming, and like, oh, it's not worth the money anymore. Like, oh, it's like gonna, like I might as well work for McDonald's. I'm gonna get more money doing that, instead of doing this. And then you lose like the general like overview perspective. Like, no, it's not about money. You didn't do it for money. The money is like to help you get to where you want to get with the book. Like, just maybe just like, okay, if I can not work for a client, like if I don't have to do a client work for 2 months because the Kickstarter money gonna like help me to cover the time to produce the book and get the orders done, like even just like getting a publishing part of it, right? Because that costs money as well. Like you have to print them, you have to send them out. Like, you can do it by yourself and then hope you're gonna recuperate from profit, but that's just a giant investment. Like
agreed.
upfront, printing it all out and then sending it out, like it's a big investment. I mean, now we have like websites that do it for you, but they take like half of it, if not more. So like the money that's coming out of it is like, like I'm actually working. It's almost like working for someone and selling that. You just keep the idea, but they get all the profits, like, and you have no quality control, that kind of stuff. So it's like very easy to like fall off the track unless you have that commitment, that thing where like, okay, I have to follow through because I just have to do it. I'll be professional about it, and I guess it worked out because like you've been doing something for a year, basically without any hiccup.
I feel like the Kickstarter was both a blessing in disguise, like a blessing and a curse, right? Like the curse is, hey, you're chained to this project until it's out. These backers, you're like their slave in a way, right? And if I didn't have the Kickstarter, I don't think this book would have gotten made this year. Like it might have taken another 5 or 10 years, but because I had the deadline and I had people like waiting for it, it made me really push to finish it. And then I had to balance, like, I do not want to sacrifice the quality of it. And so that's why it took way longer than it did, because it was supposed to come out the end of 2018, I believe. December 2018 was the projected date. And as I was reaching that deadline, I realized I was not happy with what I've made so far. I was not where I wanted to be. And it's not something I feel represents me as my first debut story. And so I really had to like go back to the drawing board. And even though it was a disappointment to the Kickstarter people that that deadline wasn't met, I think in the long run, I just have to suck it up for maybe another year and a half and then deliver something I truly believe in. And I feel like that's replicative of the product that's here now.
So the book is out now and is ready to go.
Yes, it's here. It's real. It's not an idea anymore. It has a nice shiny foil.
How shiny it is, dude. Yeah, nice.
And
how is that process behind the scenes? Like, I know, like, when you make a book, a lot of people would just look, just painting, and then you just print it out. Like, that's just not how it works. Like, how did you have to learn everything, like the whole process, or did you have someone who like helped you to kind of the meander publishing part?
I honestly wished I had some help. Like at the beginning, it was like I didn't know one thing about making a book. It was, I saw some people were doing it. I was like, oh, I should make one too. And then I looked at like literally, I looked at Creature Box's Kickstarter. They made a book. I can do it too. And I didn't know anything about paperweights, paper quantity, what type of finishes I want, what type of paper I want. I knew nothing. And oh my gosh, I had to learn so much shit. It's so much more into making a book than like my printing experience prior to this was just like printing it out, my homework, and putting it on the wall. And I thought with that experience, I could create a book. And boy, was I wrong. Now I can make a book, like another book, and be confident in what I'm choosing. Like I learned so many things. And so if you want to make a book, I really suggest you do a little more research about like paper material, finishes, like typography, graphic design. I like had to learn a lot about margins and bleeds. And it's so much more into making a book than pretty pictures.
Did you ever get like misprints? Like, fuck. All right, we printed like this amount of books and it's misprinted.
Definitely.
And that's like completely out of your control too, and it costs money.
Yeah, I think 10% of your product is bound to be faulty. And so you just have to account for that. And so you order 10% extra.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I can see a reason why there's a lot of like, printing companies now that do fulfillment and everything on your behalf. Like, hey, we're gonna just give us PDF and we take care care of the rest of it.
Yeah.
We take 60, 75%.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
mine is completely self-published.
yeah, that's good. That's good. It's good because like it you made your own mistakes. You made your own bed basically with it, and you had to like figure it out as you go. And you learn so much when you do that. It's kind of insane. Like once you get into like nitty-gritty details of everything, you know, whether it's like looking back at your channel or looking back at your book, or looking back at my short film. There is just, oh my God, there is just so many aspects of it that you never consider from the get-go. You're so uninformed, and you're diving like head first, and then you realize like, oh, there's 2 feet of water and then the concrete.
Right. Yep.
Right.
I agree.
And then you're trying to figure it out. Right. So, yeah. Well, congrats, man. That's a big achievement.
Thank you so much. I know it's been crazy. I haven't processed it yet. It's like this has been over my shoulders for so long that I finally feel like for the first time I'm free. And I've not had that feeling ever in like right before Kickstarter, right? It was I started this Kickstarter summer of 2017. And till then, I thought about this Kickstarter every single day of my life. And it has been hanging over me, trying to make this. There's so much attached to it that it sparks a lot of emotions. And it makes me feel really human because, like, I can't please everyone. People are going to hate it. People are going to complain. People won't like it. And then there's a handful of people who love it. And you're like excited with them and they get to learn about the characters in the world. And so it's a lot of responsibility and just like a lot of emotions that are attached to this book for sure.
Yeah. One of the things you start to realize is like, like when you commit to a project, especially if it's a Kickstarter or what was the other one, the Indiegogo, right? Yeah, there's like, or like if you do Patreon, like it all sounds pretty easy, like when you get to it, and then you realize, okay, there is a bunch of commitments that I have that people are putting a monetary value on. And that's where like the business part of you have to kick in. Is like, okay, we are in an actual agreement now that something has to be done, and just has to be done. You cannot just back out of it. Did you ever had like a moment where you're like, fuck, like what I got myself into?
Always. Like, I think sometimes I'm like obviously we all have these thoughts, right? We're human, and so I've had thoughts where it was like, man, why did I do this? Like I have like I'm so scared it's not done. Maybe I actually had thoughts where I was going to refund everyone's money and not do it anymore. It got to a point where I didn't even want to do it anymore. It was so much hanging over me, but I just processed my feeling. It's like our feelings are momentary. Just remember why you did it. Like why you made Kickstarter, and just do your best. And so it was just like, let's just do it. I know you're late. I know everyone's waiting, but just trust that it will take care of itself, and trust that everything will be okay.
Yeah, as you said, it cannot please everyone. I'm pretty sure, and understandably, a lot of people might be pissed. Like, oh, it was supposed to be then, and it's now. People get upset about. I mean, understandably about that. People get upset about random shit. Yeah like my coffee doesn't have enough foam, like I want a refund. That happens too. I know it's like apples and oranges, but I think what matters, like, this is my personal perspective, okay? What matters is like how you handle the situation. If you just like look at something and then like fuck it, I don't care, and then move on and just leave it behind you and like just leave everyone else behind you, that's where it's like, okay, in my books that's not good,
Yeah.
because that's just like, I don't know how it is with Kickstarter. Like I've never done Kickstarter. I never considered doing Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if like someone pays you money, if it's an actual commitment that you have to do something or you don't have to. Like we could argue on like a law side point of view.
Right.
I'm looking at perspective of like you're basically allowing people to trust you to do something, and then I think it's a giant difference between being late versus, because like things happen, like even just like now with COVID, like that I'm pretty sure delayed the book itself as well, to a certain degree. So things can happen that you're out of, like, are completely out of control, or you haven't had an idea before you started doing it and like couldn't anticipate any of it, right?
Correct.
But what matters is like how you end it all, like where it all ends,
Yeah.
I think there's a giant difference between like, what, it's whatever months late, but it's there,
Right.
And it's there because I wanted to put more effort, I wanted to make it better,
Exactly. Yeah.
instead of like fuck it and then moving on,
Right. Yeah. No, the original book was 120 pages, and
right,
that's what I was banking on. And now it grew to 176 pages because I just wanted to make it a good book. I got the foil on it, and at the end of the day, I just want to put something out there that I'm really proud of, because it'll be out there for the rest of my life. And so I really spent like extra time to really like make it good. And obviously, you can't please everyone at the end of the day.
yeah.
They're like,
You could have rushed it though, right? Like,
yeah, I could have rushed it, but I didn't.
Yeah. And just, okay, it's released, it's done, but it would be rushed,
Right.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's a giant achievement. It's a pressure makes diamonds, people say.
You think so?
I mean, if you hadn't had that pressure of doing it, you said it yourself, you wouldn't do it. You know.
Agreed.
So like you would probably regret the idea of like not doing it. You would like, oh, I always wanted to do it. That's something that people who come of age, eventually, like, when they get older, they realize, you know what, there's all of those things I wanted to do in my life, and now it's too late.
Agreed.
And I've never tried, and now it's too late. And it's like, I'm not saying we're we're young. let's not get it
It's
twisted,
never too late. I feel like age is just a number, and I think
you're not going to be a professional athlete at the age of 80. You know what I mean?
But at least you tried.
Right. Yeah. If you tried, that's when you can say like, at least I tried.
Exactly.
It wasn't for me. At least I tried. But if you didn't try, it's like, oh man, I was at peak of my condition. What if, and like, and that just hangs on you. Like, what if, that happens. Yeah. Like if you don't, like, I have the same thing myself. And I've said it a few times already in the past few months that I hate disappointing, like being not only disappointing people around me, but even just disappointing myself when I commit to do something. Yeah, I just want to do it, And even with my film, I was running into same issues like you. Like I started the film a year ago. It's a much smaller endeavor than your book because, smaller because it is technical, but it's fully in my control. Let's put it this way, right?
Right.
Like the amount of time I'm going to put in this, I know the technical issues that have to be solved, but at the end of the day, I can do it, right?
Yeah.
There's no like I have to learn completely new craft and find publishing and print it out. Like those are like issues of that's something that might be completely out of your control.
Right.
Like if there's a storm and the book doesn't get there, it's like, what am I supposed to do, right? Like stop the storm,
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
Totally.
But I mean, dude, like when I started, I worked on it for like 2 months straight, and I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this.
Really?
And it was like it was like in the early stages where I had like the rough cut of what it's going to be, and I was like, oh man, like, and I just like started like just putting it away. Like,
Right.
you know what, I'm just gonna focus on stuff I find fun, because like it's just stopped being fun. It was just so intense, it stopped being fun.
Yeah.
And then when December came in and I actually started to have like more free time, I was like, man, like if I don't do it now, I'm gonna disappoint myself. I'm gonna disappoint the friends that I've talked with that said like, yeah, you should do it, you know. It's like, I don't want to be in that spot, you know. So I did like a month push through December, from December through January, and then I saw, okay, I can see a light in the tunnel.
Right.
But it was up until, because film is down now. Like I'm actually, by the time we're releasing, it's done. It's just done. It's done. Fuck yeah, it's done. It's done. I already have ideas what to do next. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
But it's done. And yeah, man, like I would have never done it if I haven't had friends that were like, that wouldn't just like say, hey, stop being a bitch, man. Like,
Right.
Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna suck. It's not gonna be pleasant. It's not gonna be fun.
Right.
But you will see when it's done. You will see. You know.
Oh, that's so great. Wait, I have a question. When is your short coming out again?
August 1st.
August 1st. Oh, okay. My short was coming August 7th.
All right.
So I'm
Okay.
just like processing it. Yeah.
Fuck! I need to promote it before
No.
it's too late. Before you suck up all the traffic.
What are you talking about? Not even.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking. Yeah, but I'm glad you finished it, man. Like that's a big achievement. Like people don't realize, like when you take on a project like that, it just takes everything out of you, no matter
really
what that
does.
is.
Yeah.
Because like you have to put all that effort, and because like, okay, I looking at it from a different perspective, right? You made it so that YouTube and your videos and Patreon and your art, all of that independent work you're doing, that's your livelihood now, right? That's what pays the bills.
Yeah.
That's what makes you go and do stuff you do. It's work.
Yeah.
It's not like you made it and like you don't have to make anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like you have commitments now that basically is full-time work, right?
Right.
And then you add this Kickstarter thing.
Oh, I know. That's me. I just happened to follow my gut and then just like
Yeah.
pay for it later.
So you basically went from, I make no money, I'm putting this extra time to do my channel and working on the side to make a living, to I make a living from making my channel, to making a book that makes no money, that I'm doing on the side. Like kind of.
I think that's life. You know, I feel like it's about just like literally going in a bunch of directions, and hopefully you'll arrive somewhere.
Yeah. I can guarantee, like if you're already working that way, there's gonna be something new like very soon.
Yeah,
I know.
no.
Like, oh fuck, I have to do it, and then you realize like, oh shit, what am I getting into?
Yeah. I'm not sure when this podcast is coming out, but that's the same feeling I had when I made my short. I was like, I really want Nemo to be extra special. I've had this idea to make a short for a long time, and like I think right when I started, I'm like, I don't know anything about animation. I don't know anything about anything, but I wanted to do it. And so I kind of reached out to like some amazing, talented Twitter animators and just wanted to make something special. We had like a low budget, and I'm so proud of like what we've made. I think it's extremely special, and I'm super excited for everyone to see it.
Well, this is gonna come out before both of our shorts, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So people can still anticipate, like, oh.
Right. Like, what is
Where
it?
is it?
Where is it?
Where is it? When is it? Yeah, man. Dude. So your short film, I mean, it's still in works, right?
Yeah.
Do you have like, is there anything on the horizon for you that's like, okay, that's gonna be my next big thing? Or you're like, I need to chill. I need to fucking chill.
No, I have a problem with chilling. I like, that's not in my language. So
Right.
my
I
mind
figured.
like the way my mind works, I'm like always being excited by new things, and I always like will find things to like new projects to kind of be a part of. I've like next year, like this year, I didn't anticipate COVID. I think none of us did, but I really wanted to make my tour special. I wanted people to get the book, and then I can talk to my fans about the book, and they can be excited with me. And so next
Yeah.
year, will be the Nema tour, and I'm really excited to create like an immersive experience for people. I want to do like new things, and that's like a new endeavor and space I want to get into. It's like, how can I create the space to kind of represent pieces of the book and provide that special experience? And like,
Right.
the main reason why I made this book is because someone else made their own world that really impacted me. And so I want to pay it forward, and I want to create a world that impacts them, and they can create their own world and experiences. And so next year will be dedicated to like creating that experience for people to even further be immersed. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Good luck having no vacation time.
Oh, I already have no vacation. Don't worry, I'm okay.
How are vacations for you? Is it like with me where I almost feel like vacation and it's a curse. It's a curse. My family hates me for it. It's like anytime we go for the road trip,
Yeah.
I'm like, I have this project they're gonna do
Yep.
with my camera.
Mhm.
It's like, wait, what happened with like us going to a dinner? You
Yep.
know?
100%. I feel like vacation for me, you have to really force me to take a vacation. And even when I'm on vacation, all I think about is work, because my mind
Yeah.
is wired that way. And it takes a lot to not be wired that way. And it's like a muscle. But I'm always, always, always 25/8 thinking about work and what I want to do next. But I think that's like also the beauty of like being a creator. You always want to create
Yeah.
things, and so blessing is and a curse, and you kind of have to really find your balance between like enjoying your life but also pursuing your passions.
I wonder if it's gonna change for you with age. How old are you now? 20 something, right?
I'm 27.
27.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get over 30, you'll start to like maybe some time off. Who knows though? Like I know some people that been like full on gas
Yeah. Hmm.
and they're in their 50s, and
Yeah.
they're like, no nonstop, baby. We're just going. No vacation, 24/7.
Yeah.
Work or work. Like I know people that their mantra is work or workout. Nothing else.
Perfect. I can probably relate with them.
Yeah. Vacation is like, they what?
Hmm.
I have a project that happens to be where vacation is.
Right. And then I'll kind of enjoy myself, and like,
Yeah, I'll find time to like relax for one evening.
Hmm.
Yeah. What I found about this all, because my mind is like that when I'm in like this sort of like mode of working a lot,
Hmm.
like having multiple projects. And I mean, ever since I started doing this, I mean, not ever since, I think ever since I moved to US
Mhm.
and started like realizing the potential that I have and what I want to do with my career and my life and everything, is when I realized like, oh, like I can do all of those things. Like there's nothing that's blocking me, because like when I was in Europe, when I was working in Europe, I was still in a mindset of like, I'm doing my job and that's it. This is just a job,
Right. Mhm.
So I'm not gonna push all, or like, what's the point of pushing even further? Like
Yeah.
there was a little bit of that in me. Although I was like obsessed about creating art,
Mhm.
I would always sit and create art. But I had never thought about like, oh, I can do all of those things,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
try different endeavors and like see where they go and try and fail.
Mhm.
But I
think,
found, yeah, go ahead.
I think failure is so important. I think
Yeah.
it's probably one of the most important things. It's like if you're winning all the time, it's like, what's the point? It's like learning from your failure and like being able to kind of like, use that experience to help mold your character. I think it's extremely important for anybody.
Yeah, you don't want to be a Mary Sue,
Yeah.
basically. Like you don't want to be a character that has no flaws and it's always winning. That's just like there's
Right.
nothing interesting about you anymore.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like would you be as happy as you are now after you're done with your book if it went smoothly without any hiccup and you wouldn't have to work hard for it?
I don't think it would have been as special. I feel like the experiences help like really mold me into a person and mold the project.
Yeah.
It's like all the like if this project was smooth, like I don't think any successful project is 100% smooth. It doesn't make sense. It's like you feed all your experiences, good and bad, into making it the imperfectly perfect product that it is.
Right. Yeah. And then you obsessed about everything that went wrong and you try to course correct.
Oh my gosh. Right now, like after going through the book, I've already found pages where I'm like, I wish I did that better. I wish like some typos here and there. And so my second round of prints, like I'm going to help perfect everything that I'm thinking about at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because like you always find that the biggest thing is like, okay, I finished the project. I'm fucking happy. It's all done.
Yeah.
But then you look back at it and you see where you failed, and then you think what's ahead of you, and like, okay, next time I do it, I already know the lessons of like, okay, I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do that. Like you said, like I would never do a Kickstarter if it wasn't like 80% done anymore. Right? Biggest lesson learned. But that's a lesson learned. Like you're not going to start it and then just hope for the best. I think what would happen if you, based on what we talked about, if you just decided to, I'm making a new Kickstarter. I'm 100% sure what's going to happen if you do that is you're going to make it so ambitious that you're going to run yourself into the same problem.
Oh, agreed.
But it's going to be that much more ambitious, because of it. So I think that's just, I think that's the trait that a lot of us have. Like, I think there's not a lot of us, like some people have that trait where no matter what, we're going to run ourselves into like a corner and then try to find a way out,
Right.
Yeah.
Some people are addicted to that feeling of like highs and lows, So I think it depends on the person.
I'll tell you, I've noticed when you slow down, however, like when you force yourself to slow down, you stop thinking about your mind becomes easy for a while, and then it gets itchy again. But like the problem is like when you do a lot of work all at the same time and then you go to full stop, that's a disaster, because like all you're gonna do is think about work. Like you have to like sort of like wean yourself out. Doing 5 projects, okay, let's do 2.
Right.
After 2, let's just do 1.
Yeah, I feel like
then stop for a bit and then get itchy and then you get like skyrocket again, 0 to 100.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we agree.
We do agree.
Not much discussion there.
No.
So, okay, I'm not gonna ask you about the tour because obviously, that info is gonna come out when it needs to come out. The book, I think by the time, it's already on pre-order. I think by the time we release this episode, it's gonna be already out.
Out. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Is there anything like book specific or channel specific that you think is going to happen in coming months?
I think after this book, I would feel very happy with this point in my life. I feel like I've worked really hard to be at this moment of where like, hey, this like Ross, just take yourself out and just like, hey, you can be happy now. You can relax a little bit. You're successful. I think up until then, I've been always just pushing towards this moment. And maybe after this moment, I can have a little bit of that. And it lasts for a single second, maybe less than a second. And then it's like, all right, what's the next thing? Let's go.
Yeah.
And so I think new things that like I want to do a lot of new things that I haven't been able to do. I want to like make new type of videos. I want to live stream. I want to like I feel like I have a little bit more freedom to experiment a little bit. And so I'm definitely going to spend this time just like learning more about myself and trying new things. And then hopefully that will like garner a new direction. I have some new projects I really want to aim for, but I think NEMA is like a blessing where I feel like I have a little bit more freedom now. Yeah.
Cool. I have one last thing I wanted to talk with you about, because I know like we both were on schedule
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But how do you? I'm pretty sure by the time when you started doing your channel and when you started pursuing YouTube and
Yeah.
you know building sort of like building a business or career around yourself basically,
Mhm.
and about Ross Tran specifically,
Mhm.
Ross Draws, right? Um, I'm 100% convinced you haven't anticipated how much attention you're gonna get and how it's gonna blow up,
Yeah.
because none of us do. Like,
Right.
I mean, you can daydream like, oh, I'm gonna be famous one day, right?
Right. Mhm.
How do you deal with that? Because like you reach a point where it's way more than you ever expected,
Mhm.
right? The amount
Mhm.
of people that reach out to you,
Mhm.
you know, the amount of interactions you're like not even like want to have, but you're
Right.
forced to have,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know? And then like, you know, we're not even talking about when you go to like conventions, because that's like, okay, if you're on a convention, that's you can expect what's going to happen, right?
Right.
Like you're going to have attention, like all of those things, like you can expect that. But
Mm.
out of that, like how do you deal with that? Because like I know some
Oh,
people
man.
that deal with it very poorly, and there are people
Mhm.
that deal with it very well and roll with the punches, you know.
Right.
And some people just do it really well on camera,
Yeah.
but like when you talk with them outside, is like, oh fuck, you know, I wish I wasn't in that spot.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Do you find it stressful at all? Like how do you deal with all of that? Because like I mean, you are one of the most popular artists out there. Like
Oh.
from I mean, again, I hate to say it, looking at numbers, you know, there aren't many artists. There are a bunch. Like if you dig real
Mhm.
deep in like YouTube
Yeah.
and Instagram, you'll find a lot like
Mhm.
really popular artists.
Mhm.
But you're like among them for
Oh,
sure,
thank
you know,
you.
and you do it very face forward, like, right, you're on the camera all the time. There are
Mhm.
artists that have like a giant amount of followers, but they
Mhm.
never show themselves, they never talk, they just post art, right?
Mhm.
That's all
Mhm.
they do.
Right.
And get popular. So there's a barrier of like a public art and then a person, right?
Yeah.
That's like a different approach. You're like very front facing everything, you know, like
Mhm.
with open arms almost, you know.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I never expected any of this success. I think like, you know, no one goes into this thinking anything like and having any sort of expectation. And I think everyone will learn even within a month or a year into it, those expectations are going to be shattered. They're never ever what you expect. And
Yeah.
so I think when I was at around 300,000, 200,000 subscribers, I realized actually after the first video, I realized how sudden like the impact of the success can be, followers and numbers, and it gets really
Yeah.
stressful. And so that's why I kind of made my Kickstarter. It made me realize like nothing matters but how you feel about what you're doing.
Right.
And through that journey as well, I've learned so many valuable lessons, and just as important about how you feel is the people you surround yourself with. That's
Right.
extremely important, because they can really have a mental impact about how you feel. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think throughout my career, I've attracted more people that think alike like me, and I've pushed away people I feel like are toxic to my mental health.
Right.
And so I feel like with the good support group and with also following your gut, I feel like that's how I kind of deal with it. And I'm confident that even 1 year from now, or maybe when I have 10 million subscribers or whatever, even when things get super chaotic, I can always count on my close group of friends, my support group, and how I think to help me survive. I feel like
Right.
it'll never get overwhelming for me. I feel like I know myself well enough to be able to know that I can take on any challenge. Yeah.
Do you read comments?
Do I read comments? Oh, I used to, dude. My first
Not
video.
anymore. I get you.
No, like my first video, we were like, sorry if I swear, like, fuck this kid. This kid's annoying. He's like, I don't like his personality. This kid is loud. And so
Yeah, it's the haters.
that was like the first maybe few months to a year. And then after after a certain while, it's like for every one hater, there's 1,000 people that love your shit. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm just gonna focus on like pushing out content for them, than focusing on people that don't like me for whatever reason. And that's something that like a lot of creators and artists aren't prepared for, because we didn't get born with the internet, like no one is
No, yeah.
prepared for that amount of ridicule. Like that's not something we're trained for. And so we just have to learn fast. Like, don't worry about what people are hating about your stuff, but just what you want to give out there, like your main core message of what you want to say, and focus on that.
Yeah, I know we're memeing about like haters, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's such a like, oh, haters, like haters gonna hate. Like that's
Yeah.
such a, a thing to say. But I think people have to realize, and I don't have to deal with a lot. Like I'm nowhere near dealing with the amount of attention that I have personally
Mm-hmm.
than versus like what you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I looked at the statistic of like, okay, statistically speaking, based on like public data from like what was it, like CDC or like American Association of Psychiatry or whatever, like one of those like really reliable resources.
Mm-hmm.
Like 1% of human population is basically sociopath,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like even if it's 0.1%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of 1,000 people is gonna be at least few that are like absolutely hell-bent to like destroy you, you know?
Right.
They're just
Agreed.
gonna find you, and if they find something to hate about you,
They will.
they will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happens with social media specifically is it's amplifying those negative voices.
Right.
That's one of the reasons like I've been recently like really rethinking on like how I use social media, because I used to like look at it like, oh, it's a great platform to have for sharing my work and interacting with people. But then I also realized, okay, there's certain platforms that are pretty terrible at it, and they are more focused on something else instead,
Right.
So yeah, it's like a very interesting topic to look at, because like I don't think, as you said, like a lot of people are not prepared to like getting that attention. And like one hater, like it could be a random person, it could be a legit comment, it could be but it also could be like a random troll that you never know who's typing. It's all anonymous, but it fucks with you, man. Like you just read that one comment, and that one comment can overshadow like
all
100 of supportive. Yeah, exactly. Because you're like, oh, like, and maybe there's something about us, about people just generally being more neurotic. Like just
what I think it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm trying to like understand human behavior and what we do. I think we are just analytical by nature. That's how we got to where we are, to survive. We had to learn problems for us to evolve and fix, for us to be able here. So when we see something like an error or something bad said about us, we fixate on it because we feel like we almost have to fix it in a way.
Yeah, and social media amplifies it, because then like you get a comment and then another one, and then like you can get 10 people that just pile on just for fun, but you feel like the whole world is collapsing.
Oh, definitely. I've had some dark times, definitely.
I have never had a situation like that myself, honestly. So I don't know, but yeah, definitely. But I've seen some troll comments for sure. I've seen those happening. But for the most part, I think the listeners of the podcast are just amazing people, and the amount of like personal messages I'm getting about the podcast specifically, it's just like, it's the only reason I'm still doing it.
Yeah,
you know what? That's the only reason, because like the positive impact. Because I've never had that myself. Like I wish I had a podcast to listen to. So but it's interesting. Yeah, this is because like I think we're getting into times where, if you're out there, if your work is popular, then the likelihood of you getting hired is like much higher. It's just the social media and your presence impacts the way you're going to be discovered, and discoverability in the like. I was talking with Max Berman about this. We're talking about like curation. There's, when you're learning, you can find everything, but how do you know if it's good? Well, if you have someone who can curate that for you and find a way to like filter not so good tutorials versus the great ones that are gonna make you work better,
Yeah.
then that's a curation. I think that's where it is with social media and your presence. It's like if you're popular, then you even if your work is not the best, it's gonna stand out way more than if someone who's like great but has no presence. Like if you have no presence, if someone doesn't know you exist, then they're not gonna hire you in the first place, you know?
Right, exactly.
And so I think it's like a crash course for, it might be like a crash course for a lot of artists where they become more and more popular, more in the limelight of like, man, your work is awesome. But then like the more popular you are, the more attention you get, the more attention you get, the more likelihood there's gonna be someone who's like,
right, yep,
not right in their minds.
Dude, I think I heard somewhere, dude, if you don't have haters, then I feel like you're doing it wrong, you know? It's like, who loved everything about what you're doing? That's like, it doesn't exist. Like, so.
Exactly. I mean, look at the most popular movies. They have like a ton of haters.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's just opinions, you know?
Exactly.
For the most part, it's just opinions. I think if people just look at it from that perspective, you know, it's just an opinion, you know?
Yeah, it's a fleeting thought. It's a moment that can be gone.
Yeah. So. I think the most important is like throw yourself. The words are cheap. Throw yourself in and do it yourself. You know, and see how it plays out. Because then, like, all right, okay, perfect. If it plays out, then it's perfect. So,
you're right,
dude. We've done over an hour, just like we planned.
Yeah, just like we planned. Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice moment to wrap it all up. Again, like super excited for your book. That it's coming out. I know there's a short film that you're doing as well, like a little animation that's coming out. I'm curious to see that for sure. Yeah, is there anything else you would want to plug in before we wrap it up?
I just kind of wanted to say thank you. Like, I think a lot of like you especially, you know, you have been a huge supporter of my channel and my craft since I've started. You know, when 10,000 subscribers, and now we're at like 1.2 million. You know, it's like
it's fucking crazy.
It's in a few years. Like, so thank you for always kind of believing in me and believing in my craft. I know like our concept art family is small, and I'm glad we can be there for each other. And thank you to all.
It's a small world. It's a small world.
100%. Yeah. And like, if anyone who's out there that has my book, thank you so much for supporting me. That means the absolute world to me. And I'm so excited to share the world of Nima to more and more people. I'm really proud of it. I really think it's my best piece of work. And I'm really excited to show everyone more of what I have planned for it. So, yeah.
Awesome. I always ask where people can find you, but I think more people that are gonna listen to this, it's from your channel than mine. I can like guarantee that. So, anyways, good dude, good times. I'm so glad we did this because like it's been overdue, and it's like a good chance also to catch up because your book is out. So it's like a big achievement and a great topic to talk about.
Let's catch up soon.
Yeah, let's do it again. All right, dudes. Everyone who's listening, thank you so much for being here, listening. Thanks, Ross, for your time. And till the next time. Cheers.
Cool. Bye.